Is there any kind of a way to show that hold one is actually not hold? They sound similar, and often they sound quite different. At sometimes you think that they are completely different, and then at sometimes they sound like almost the same. There are ways of showing that they are not the same. While they do sound similar as taken as whole, we can split up the voices into smaller parts and compare them if they have the same kind of word boundaries, and they actually don't have. On the video, those voices didn't sound as good as they sound directly in the program, but it is true that sometimes these voices sound like some expression that one can recognize, and sometimes they don't. Fortunately, there is some other way of comparing this, what has actually happened. Let's take the word hold. It's in the both expressions, in both in channel and 1 and channel 2 in the beginning. Now hold looks like in the picture. The above picture is from channel 2 and the below one is from channel 1. There is absolutely no way how channel 2 could be by crosstalk become distorted like in channel 1. It will get noise, but those peaks do not match. Channel 2 picture looks like an automaton generated. It's from kind of a voice generator. It has a thicker one, then 3 smaller ones, and then thicker one. And that's not the pattern for a speech. So we can notice that there is something very strong wrong with channel 2 hold. There's more of the same type. It's not all the time that channel 2 has this kind of a very regular pattern, and you can see that the regular pattern does not match to the channel 1 pattern at all. Not all the time, but sometimes yes. Still one more similar type. You can see that very far in the right corner there is a normal speech, but otherwise this looks like a generated speech. In this last picture we see interesting thing. In channel 1 there is a word break, so the signal amplitude goes down. And there is no such break on channel 2. It is very curious.
In order to find gunshot places from this dictabelt, I will apply high-pass filter of 6 kHz 3 times to the whole tape, like this. I do it so because gunshot or shot noise, any shot noise, whether from gunshot or from electrical shot, has very wide spectrum. So in this way one can filter out everything else, and what remains has a very wide spectrum. Still I will look at all of those places that remain, and will select from those only such that have wide spectrum that could possibly be gunshot. As you see, not much remains. Now let's go to something that remains. Here we have a very small piece. And then we can look at the power spectrum. This is not gunshot. It has power spectrum almost only up to 10 kHz. So this is not a candidate. Then we look at some other candidate here. The power spectrum is wide. This is a candidate for a gunshot. I find 4 candidates on the area from 50 to 60. And then I find additionally 10 candidates from higher, from around 2 minutes or more. Next I have to select from those 14 which could possibly be gunshots. I do that by considering the shape of the impulse. And for that reason I again take the dictabelt and apply only once high-pass filter of 6 kHz. The shape of a gunshot is typical, and shape of some other shot noise is usually different. So let's go to something where there should be a gunshot. Now this looks like a gunshot. This also looks like a gunshot. And then when I go to the other candidates that I had, let's for instance take one candidate at 136.1. 136.1 is here. So here is the impulse. It is an impulse, but it doesn't look like a gunshot. So in this way I go through all of these 14 possible impulses and select those that can be gunshots, and I get only 4. So the 4 gunshots are all placed here. The first one is here, 51.5. The second one, and it has a spectrum which looks like a gunshot. The second one is in 55.6, and it also has a spectrum that looks like a gunshot. And then there is the third one, 58.8, which also looks like a gunshot, and they all.
Here you see two of the possible gunshot voices, one at 52.5 and another one at 55.6. The spectrums of all three possible gunshots are very similar. This is a typical power spectrum of a gunshot, so very wide Here is the third possible shot at 58.8, and it looks very similar to the other two. But here is also another one at 55.8. Is something small. It may be a gunshot. Whether this fourth one is a gunshot or not may be questioned. It does look like a gunshot. The spectrum is similar, but it cannot be from the same weapon. This probably is the suspected Crasy, not Hill shot. What can be concluded? It can be concluded that hold 1 on channel 1 is not hold on channel 2. Firstly, because the timing does not match. Secondly, because internally when we break hold 1 and hold into words and combinations of words, they don't match. Hold additionally has very suspicious regularities. And it is not because FBI added some humming signal for synchronization purposes or timing purposes to the channel 2. Because this is not any humming signal. If you look at the word hold, the so-called humming signal has practically the same frequency as the correct signal on channel 1, so it would be a diabolic coincidence. This certainly looks like a cover-up. So hold 1 was created because there was on channel 1 hold signal, so hold on channel 2 was created. And of course it's not possible that hold 1 was found only about 1 year after FBI started investigating the tape, because anybody putting any low pass filter on it will find immediately the voice. So something like that.